Um, this last spring, I visited one of the 6 different campus ministries in the Diocese of Washington, D.C. Don't get mistaken with the state. I visited American University. As I was walking up to the chapel on campus at American University, all of a sudden I was greeted with all these students that were walking out of the chapel. And I thought to myself, oh no, what happened? What went wrong? Why is everybody leaving before the services even started? And so I asked some of the students, I said, what's wrong? Where are you going? And one of the students turned to me and said, Jason, it is just too beautiful outside tonight. We're praying outside. And true to that, all of these students were walking out with their little red books in tow, tucked under their arms, out down the steps from the chapel and out onto the green in front of the chapel and the main kind of thoroughfare where everybody's walking to classes and such in the on campus there at American. And as they were kind of getting situated, sitting down to have their evening prayer session together, one of the students looked up and she saw one of her friends walking by. And so she looked at her and she said, hi. And her friend kind of looked at her and said, hi? And then there was this pause, and we all kind of knew from the look on the face what she was going to ask. And she said, what are you doing? And so her friend looked back at her and she said, we're going to pray. And then we all kind of turned and stared at the friend sitting there with the red prayer book about like what was going to happen next. And she's holding her prayer book. She goes, do you want to pray with us? And what happened next was so profound of an experience for me, and I think everybody else that was sitting there. She kind of looked at her feet for a while, and she goes, sure, yeah, but I don't know how to pray. I've never prayed before. And this other student that was sitting there got this look on their face like you see on a child's face in a classroom when they realize that they actually have the answer to whatever the question is. The teacher's just like, oh, me, I know. And she goes, that's okay. This is like a guidebook. All you have to do is follow along right here. The stories that we tell expose the information that's important to us. That night, because of our tradition that we have to share with the world, a young woman got to pray for the very first time in her life. And for me, sharing the gospel of the kingdom, sharing the core identity of this tradition that is ours with those in a generation that have predominantly not been exposed to our tradition is radically important. So I tell stories. As Kristen and Bianca shared with us last night, stories change us. Stories give us an imagination for what's possible. Stories are what our scriptures are filled of. Not just information and ideas to assent to, but stories. Jesus told stories to communicate his message of good news. For thousands of years, our faith has been passed from generation to generation through stories. And so they are incredibly important for the work that we do. Critically important, a critical art form for the kind of work that all of us do with young people. So over this next year, Mike's office, the Young Adult and Campus Ministries office for the church, is initiating this experiment, this project of trying to nurture and cultivate storytelling across the church. There will be local storytelling events in different parts of the states, and we'll be releasing stories or releasing tools for better storytelling online for everybody to use. And it's going to culminate in a storytelling event at General Convention. And here's the good part. Prizes are involved for the best stories. So please be watching the communication that comes out of the Young Adult and Campus Ministries office, the blog and the emails over the next month as information is released on this. And I'm looking forward to hearing your stories. Thank you.